Right. How did this whole thing happen? You know, you're out driving. You do some jumping on the rocks and on the trail. You drive quite hard. And out of the blue, you jump a rock and you see, huh? What has happened? The whole front end is collapsed. I go near the car and I see the front wheel is hanging on a thread. The steering is gone. We have no drive on any front wheel. And my first thought is, let's do it all over again. Shall we? Alright. My second thought is, let's upgrade it. Why drive an original car when you can drive an upgraded car? So let's get into what's happened and how we will fix it. Let's go! As you see here, we have a broken C-hub. The lower end of the C-hub is broken off. We have the bearing hanging on a thread. The steering has fallen off. And one thing is that this is really worn out over 12-13 years or whatever it is. Hard driving, fast driving, many crashes, a lot of driving. I must have driven it hundreds of hours. I have a 5 amp battery and 150-200 battery packs at least on this thing. I have driven it a lot. So as I say, the C-hub has broken off and I'm quite surprised that the vehicle, as you see it here, pretty much nothing has broken in the past. I have broken a few front drive shafts. I have a original one still here, but I use metal at the rear because I switched them around. Yeah, I think the links, I switched them more because I could, not because it had to be done. Yeah, so more or less the body is quite beaten up, but that's it. So alright, how can we fix this? As I said in the intro, is it totaled? No, come on. We have stuff that we can build infinite amount of cars. As long as someone sells it, we can buy it. So now here we have a GPM Racing products. We have a Axial SCX10 alloy front C-hub and front knuckle arm kit. So we will switch out the C-hubs, the steering knuckles, the steering links. Everything will be new. So this thing will drive another 10 years. And then when we are into it, we will be switching the rear axle adapters, one pair. So we will switch out the plastic ones with the metal ones. Alright, I will be filming it, but as a famous YouTuber often do, I have a quick way to do it if you want to skip ahead. And this is it. See you in a few seconds. Alright, since we have a 110 now, we can use a bit bigger of a wrench. So let's see how we can fix this. I will be starting with the removal of everything, lay it on the bench to see what we have managed to destroy. And then we will unpack the new GPM stuff to see what we can reuse and not. Right. One whole tire assembly here. Right here you have the original front and steering knuckle. Alright, we even had a missing pin to the front stub axle. will see here the pin for the stub axle was gone, so I had to source it in my pile of old stuff here. Hard to show you. I don't know actually why it had disappeared. Maybe because of some overturning when the other side failed, perhaps. But that's it. One fixed stub axle. I'm not a hoarder in my normal life, but when I'm RCing, I'm saving everything, because I have learned over the years that you need the tiniest thing that you don't think you need when you buy it or when it's new, but it's a pain to source it when, for example, this pin. How can I source it? Yeah, over the internet from overseas, perhaps I could find it, but now, as you saw, an old drive shaft, an old broken drive shaft had the pin still inside of it, so now I can reuse it for my steering. That's perfect. Alright, let's go on with the right side. Insert the bearings like that. One thing, the small spacer here. What's next? The collets. Yeah, the collets. And once again, metal to metal, blue Loctite. You will thank me if you use this. The worst thing is when you're out driving and, like, for example, this now, a screw is gone on the trail. Oh, that's the worst thing. Then you have the tail between your legs and just walk it home. Right. The pin, the hex adapter, 1.5mm tool. Now I think I will be mounting the tires. Yeah, that's easier. So I can flip the car around so you can see a bit better, and I can move you down. We have shiny metal parts on the front end. So I will reposition you, and then we will mount the steering. Alright, you're glad sometimes that you're not with me off camera. I had mounted the C-hub backwards, and when I fixed that, I had mounted the steering knuckle wrong side around, so I had to do this 3 times. But now we're on track again, and we will be mounting the new steering links. And I will be mounting it on the furthest inward screw hole, because then we get the most throw. The geometry works like this. On this servo arm, you want to have the furthest hole away from the center, because then you get the most amount of throw from the servo. And on the steering knuckle itself, it's a switch around, so here you want to mount it as close to the steering knuckle as possible. So here we have 2 screw holes, so we will be mounting the steering arm on the hole that is nearest the steering knuckle. Alright, one complete steering, and the best part of this, since the old steering was so worn out. As you see here, the ball ends are just falling out. This will be a good upgrade from the truck that we had. Okay, so now I will be switching out the axle extenders, but that will be just a fast and short clip so we can see how it's done, but I will not be talking on that one, so see you afterwards. Alright, now we will try the new steering and steering knuckles. Here you have them, all in its glory. Let's see if we can climb the impossible staircase. It's a bit hard. To drive this 1/10 scale on the 1/24 scale course. But here you can see the importance of having a really good steering. Very tight and maneuverable. And it's not a problem at all to climb this rocks with the Klingon tires. Let's see. Look at the incline here. We managed to do. Alright everybody, here's the verdict. I think this is a really good upgrade. You get a steering that is really tight, no flex at all, and the feel from it is superb compared to the stock plastic rod ends and plastic C-hubs and steering knuckles. So I'm giving this a thumbs up. And I think if you are thinking about doing the same upgrade, do it. That is for all kind of vehicles. Tight steering is really great when you're doing some rock climbing and have to be very precise with your steering. So with that, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment down below what you want to see next from this vehicle. I will do some reviews of these new tires. You see that I already have tried them out. You have to wait for the real review if you want to know what my thoughts are about these Batrasi tires. Alright, I'm done. I'm really happy with the video. I think the aluminum upgrades are a really good upgrade, as I said. So with that, see you in the next video. Bye!